Hi, it's Lori from Coast to Coast Craft Girls, coming to you from the West Coast. Today I wanted to share another Z-fold Christmas card. Looks like that. So pretty. Northern Lights background and then some trees and deer. Stands up, looks like that. Some nice layers in it. These are the layers on the Z-fold are super easy to do by adding these little cross pieces inside your Z-fold. So, really fun. Let me show you how it's made. So I'm going to start by making my background pieces. And I've got two pieces of card that are just about 5 3/4 by 5 3/4 or 5 7/8, and it's watercolor card. And because I'm going to do some inking, I've got a silicone mat down so I don't get ink on my cutting mat. I'm using water reactive inks, Spectrum Noir. This is Spring Meadow. And I've got fuchsia. And I've got Midnight. And these are the three colors that I'm going to use to create my backgrounds. So I'm going to start with the Spring Meadow. And I'm going to kind of come from the top and just come down kind of almost in a V. But I want to put that color on pretty strong. Okay. And then I'm going to take a little bit of fuchsia, and I'm actually going to add a little bit of fuchsia to one side. Okay. And now I'm just going to shift to navy and fill in all around. I'll leave these out in case I decide I want a little bit more, but I don't think I need them. Now I'm going to shift to the Midnight, and I'm going to come in and I'm basically going to fill in the white parts of the card and drag that ink down into the other colors. I'm just going to come softly over that Spring Meadow. And I think I am going to come back in with a little bit more Spring Meadow. And drag that up and down. Soften those edges. I'm not too worried about this bottom part because I'm going to cover that. That's going to be kind of the ground. And I think I like that. Now I'm going to come in with my other piece, and this is going to be, actually I'm going to cut this first because these are going to be my two so I've got a Z-fold card, so I need two pieces that are 3 inches wide. And these I'm not going to put any of the other color on. I'm just going to put the blue. Now, before I put my craft mat away, my silicone mat away, I'm going to bring in my Sunbeam Shimmering Watercolor pad because I'm going to use that, the jasmine up there in the corner, to create some little stars. So I've got just a pot of water, and let me get my brush out, and I've just got a small paintbrush and get it wet, get that paint wet and flowing. And then I'm just gonna move my paints out of the way so I'm not splattering all of them. And I'm just gonna splatter that white shimmer watercolor And if you want some large stars, you can just kind of touch the paintbrush tip. Here and there. Okay, now I've got my night sky. And then for my Z-fold card, it's 6 by 12, scored at 3 and 6, and that creates a 3 by 6 fold back card. Then this piece is 2 by 12, scored, it was this way, scored at 3 and 6, and then you just flip it over. And it's going to go onto my card, in this case at the bottom, like that. And that creates that Z-fold card. Now I've got some matting layers to go on the tops of those that are cut in a white shimmer card because I want it to look like snow, right? And then I've got 2 strips that are 1 by 5, scored 1 inch in from each edge, and these are going to go in here to create layers that I can put things on. So I'm going to start by putting my background in. Okay. Now before I put my this piece in for my Z-fold, I'm going to go ahead and do the mats and layers because it's just easier to mat and layer when it's flat. And now when you're going to glue this in, so it's sitting like that, and you're going to put glue on here, and and it's going to go and glue just to those 2 parts. Okay. So I find the easiest way to do it is when it's folded up, you can put glue on that piece and on this piece most of the way over to that fold. Okay. That creates your Z-fold card. Now I'm going to go ahead and put my 2 layers in, and the way that I do that is I usually fold 1 forward and 1 back. Then you put glue on the tabs. Open that up, and I'm going to put the first one kind of right to the front. And if you get one side done where it belongs, then if you just close your card and make sure it's straight, then the other side just ends up where it should be. Okay? See, you don't really have to measure, you just have to do it right on one side. And then I'm going to do the same thing on the next one. And I'm going to let those dry for a minute, and then I'll show you the pieces I've got to decorate with. So I've got 2 deer. One I cut into the front of the card, this one, and this one I cut into the back of the card because I wanted it to face the other direction. And then I've got a bunch of trees. So these 2 trees are a Spellbinder's layering die. Love this die. So you cut 1 in the back layer and then 1 with both layers and layer them up. And I mean, you could cut them in different colors, but I just liked them in the white. And then I cut a bunch of trees, 2 of each of these trees. And these are Crafter's Companion dies these are from some of the Build-A-Scene dies of Crafter's Companion that I've had for a while. And I mean, they're just, fairly plain trees. And then I've got a sentiment that I cut in that copper. It just says peace. And I'm just going to layer up all of my elements on my card. And there we go. Our Z-fold, layered Z-fold Christmas card with our Northern Lights sky and our deer. Looks like that when it's standing up. Love, love, love that. I love doing the Northern Lights skies. It's so easy to do, and I just think they look so effective for winter cards. So, thanks for watching.